Breakfast at Tiffany's released October 5th, 1961. The main character, slash main characters, Holly Golightly, played by Audrey Hepburn, is a loosey-goosey kind of girl looking for a rich man. She has a mean reds and pushes people away because she thinks they'll take her freedom. She gets caught in mafia narcotics dealing, which stops her from going away with the Brazilian lover Jose. Um, she meets this man named Paul who reminds her of her brother Fred, who she deeply adores. And that's how we get this scene where she's lying on her bed as feathers fall to the floor. You can very much see her personality in her house with her half bath couch and her phone in a suitcase. Very disorganized, but interesting house to say the least. And she doesn't really want to get close to someone because she has this fear of affection, I would say. Paul Varjak, played by George Peppard, seems to be a male escort, but mainly a writer who takes a deep interest in Holly. He's the deuterotagonist. Some of the sub characters who I believe think provide a vital role are Mr. Yunioshi, played by Mickey Rooney, Japanese landlord, who's the comedic relief. He's a he's played by a white man, which I think speaks on the times. Japanese man being played by a white man. 2A Fallinson, played by Patricia Neal, is an affair partner or sponsor for Paul. She's like this rich lady who's sort of looking out for him. Next is Doc Golightly. He's played by Buddy Ebsen. He's Holly's ex-husband and wants to take her back to her old life, which is why I think she, has this fear of being caged, and why she kind of cages herself because she doesn't want to go back to that time in her life. Jose, played by Jose, is a Brazilian political figure Holly wants to marry and run off with. They meet him at Holly's party. He cares deeply about his reputation, which I think is an important parallel to Paul, who doesn't seem to care about his reputation as much, and kind of, wants to get to know Holly. Sally Tomato, played by Alan Reed, is a mafia guy in prison who gives Holly hidden messages for, for the drug trade, such as snowflow is expected this weekend in New Orleans. Messages for drug trade, which prompts a big change in her life later, being caught up in it, which is why she can't run off with Jose because he's worried about his reputation. And finally, the cat, or cat, played by Orgy. He's this cat. She kind of gets off the street. Holly doesn't give him a name because they don't belong to each other, or she believes they don't belong to each other. And she doesn't want to be tied down, even if she cares deeply for Cat. And I think this goes to show how deep her fear of connection goes. It's like one of the core themes of Breakfast at Tiffany's is to be free or to be liberated.
You call yourself a free spirit, a wild thing, and you're terrified somebody's going to stick you in a cage. Well, baby, you're already in that cage. You built it yourself.
Freedom is to do as one wants, while to be liberated is an escape from how one should normally act. Freedom is the belief that you are free from your bonds, but how often do we become clapping monkeys or a zoo exhibit in our freedom? Our whims become our chains. This becomes everything that corrupts your view on things: change, love, hobbies. When does our fixation of freedom trap us in a cage? Holly was a girl who ran free for a good portion of her life until she was married at a young age of 14. Then she was put in a position of, oh, now I have kids and a husband. That freedom that I once had is gone. She internalized that as marriage and love as a cage in which she can't escape from, and she didn't want to be stuck. Freedom doesn't always mean you're free. Freedom can be the noose you tie around your neck. In internalizing freedom as a cage, she began to form a new cage of her own making. To be fair, this is something we all do, maybe not in the same manner, but in our search for freedom, do we flee from the things that truly make us free? I feel she also realizes the value of relationships isn't in money. Often good relationships are built on friendships with that comfort and openness. Freedom of money is nice, but it pales in comparison to true freedom. Find someone who will love you unapologetically as you are without worrying about their reputation or how others perceive them. Someone who invites you into their world and wants to be in yours. As Paul, having his own problems, decided to take steps into Holly's life, she was wild, she was different, but she was also safe and caring, as well as authentic. A simple chance of encounter at an apartment building, which led to the two becoming closer. I believe there's a word for this: serendipity, which, funnily enough, is also one of my favorite words. And it goes to show how relationships can form in the funniest of ways in the oddest of times. And I think Holly and Paul are able to find that freedom in each other. Holly being fearful of it initially, trying to escape it out of fear of being caged. At the end scene, she becomes restless, sort of ready to leave everything behind for someone who doesn't really care for her. Trying to take a taxi straight to the airport, leaving Kat in the rain. And she needed someone like Paul to snap her out of it. She just needed to take a leap of faith to destroy the chain she had set for herself and become liberated. Ultimately, the decision was hers. The decision is yours. Do you want to be free or to be liberated? Now, I'm not too knowledgeable on movie shots, although I would like to take care to learn them. But overall, shots of New York, the characters, the buildings are done really well. Nice over the shoulder shots and smooth camera movement with the characters, or panning shots to follow them around the rooms. Some weird shots, such as her talking to Mr. Yunioshi over the railing. I'm also a sucker for their camera work on the cat, him just sitting in the rain, or him laying down at the initial shot in the apartment. I will also say I think I missed something by watching this movie in color. We used to have a lot of tricks and workarounds in order to tell a story without color and or sound. I think we forget about this when we have all the CGI and other technologies, which is good, but also I think these tricks are also important in telling a story. Sometimes when we focus on making a movie look its best, we forget the little things that give impact to the story. I don't want to forget about the beauty and poetry of films, and that's why I watch old films along with new ones. A different view of the world, but still our own. It's like having a friend who lives in a different area, but we all share the same sky.